The Cost of Goods Told podcast is made possible by the following sponsors. Criswell Culinary aims to create a new standard of unique, affordable hot sauces that satisfies the more developed cravings of today. Boerne brand Texas-style hot sauce is a boldly layered sauce with density and personality to proudly represent Texas. Go to boernebrand.com to find a retailer near you. That's Boerne, B-O-E-R-N-E, brand.com. 0 Point Organics grows and supplies microgreens for over 30 major restaurants in the Houston area. Consistently perfect quality in flavor and appearance, their microgreens will be the best you or your customers have ever had every single time. Go to pointorganics.com. Welcome to the Cost of Goods Told podcast. My name is Conor. I'm a chef and media producer. I am joined this week by Pitmaster Brett from Brett's Barbecue Shop out here in Katy. Brett, thank you so much for subbing in for Darren this week.
It's great to be here.
It's good to have you, man. If any of our listeners haven't heard our episode with you, go ahead and give that a listen. I think you'll chuckle the whole way through because I think it's just us on each other for about an hour and a half.
We had a lot of fun. A few beers.
Few beers is right. Few beers. We've got some beers here today too, so let's see how rowdy it gets today. Our guest this week is Alex Au-Yeung from Phat Eatery. Alex, thank you so much for taking time to be on this podcast.
My pleasure.
I know you did a fabulous podcast with Eric Sandler, and then you did one with Frederick Cook of Houston Food Finder. Yes. It's really nice to see you getting out there, especially after the write-up that Allison Cook did almost 2 years ago.
That was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Alex, for people who may not have listened to those podcasts, do you mind giving us just a little bit of background? Because I know that you didn't necessarily start out in the restaurant industry.
Oh, that go way back. I mean, I went to aviation school.
Okay.
Actually, I went to U of H. Then one day, I was flipping over the book and I go like, no. And then I was taking a class and I go like, oh, that professor don't know what he's doing. So I left and I went home. Back in the days, there were no internet, no nothing. So I was flipping through that Yellow Pages, if you know what is called Yellow Pages nowadays. I mean, nobody knows what a Yellow Pages is.
You kids go Google Yellow Pages.
Yeah. And so I flipped and I go like, oh, aircraft technician school. Nice. So went there, okay, that looks very good. Sounds like that I might want to learn. So I went to the school, I graduated, top of my class, but I never worked on aircraft for one day.
Okay.
No. So then...
You know how to fly a plane?
No, there's nothing to do with that.
I'm kidding.
There's nothing to do with that. I do not know how to fly a plane. I did, like with an instructor on the side, I did try a couple times. The more you know, the more scared I got. Yeah, so I never actually fly a plane by myself, though. Then while I was in aircraft technician school, I got into like fixing cars, stuff like that. So I was like working in my home garage and work on people's car, things like that. So after that, I did not work on airplanes, so I went to help my friend for a little bit. Then I opened my own performance shop. So like back in the days, you know those little Hondas that go fast? That's what I used to do.
I think you have a claim to fame too on
yes,
that.
Yes. At the time, I ended up with having like the biggest import performance shop in Texas at the time. It was like over 10,000 square feet. I mean, we raced all over the country, things like that. So after the lease was almost up, I was like, oh, what should I do next? So I sold the shop to my employees, and then during that time, I had met a guy that's a chef, a Chinese chef. He said, I'm doing some catering order. You want to come and help me in my apartment? Okay, sure, why not? Then, okay, that's how it all started. I always loved cooking. Then I learned like more professional way how to do things in big batches and things like that. I fell in love. So one thing led to another. I took over a delivery shop It's like 700 square feet. I would say it's a hair smaller than bread shop.
That's pretty damn small.
Yeah. They were like eight seats or so. I mean, when you have 6 people, you're like at 80% capacity already. It was on Fountainville. It's still there right now.
Okay.
Then they changed the name many times, but it's still there. So I was there for like almost 2 years. Then I got, no, this is not what I do. I'm stuck in the kitchen all day, every day. No. Sold it, told myself I would never be in the restaurant business again. Then, you know what happened? So,
You put that jinx on yourself.
Yeah.
Did you ask for it? Yeah.
a friend of mine told me, hey, I'm over there at a bar. Let's do it together. It was a Vietnamese bar on the west side of Bellway 8 on Bel Air.
Okay.
On the west side, you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's called, people mostly call it Vietnamese town,
Right.
instead of like Chinatown. We did like 99.99%, they're all Vietnamese people. And I do not speak a lick of Vietnamese. Till today, still none. So I was there for a while, and then what was after that? Then I started my point of sale company.
Okay.
Point of sale system. I did that for a long time, 14 years. Actually, many restaurants, I was running the restaurants, and then I was doing the point of sale for restaurant at the same time.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, it got to pretty good size. We had like 15 employees. We service POS system all the way to like Austin, San Antonio, even in Mexico.
Damn.
Yes. Actually, I had it for a good while until like maybe 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
Now, then I sold the company to somebody else. It was like, so it's time to focus just on the restaurant business.
Okay.
But during that, when I did the POS system, I learned a lot about restaurant business. Remember, I see the books.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily it's going to help me anything, but I see people succeed, failed, left and right. I see that on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of see sometimes I see a little pattern here, there. Learn a thing or two.
That's huge. That's huge because, I mean, being able to do that before, I guess there was a lot more information like on the internet or even in the school systems where it was like you could look at someone's P&L because, you know, people are just trying to share that information. Before that shit was super secret, you know?
Exactly.
Well, I think so. I mean, one of the many things I really respect about you is the fact that a lot of times in the restaurant world, people are either, it's not always a balance of business-minded to artistic. Mm-hmm. And I find you as one of the people, more than a lot of other people I know, that have that kind of middle ground where you do understand the business side just as much as the art of cooking. And, you know, for a successful restaurant, that's huge. And,
yeah, I think a lot of guys talk about like the cooking aspect of it as maybe 20%. You know, the rest of it is understanding the books, understanding the business side of things. You know, so
if the money's not there, the restaurant isn't either.
Yeah.
right.
But be honest, I really don't calculate food costs. A lot of people might not agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I do not calculate food costs dish by dish. I look at a big number.
Okay.
Because I believe in you cannot make that. A lot of people say, 30% food cost. That's how far you can go. You cannot go more than 30. Mm-hmm. I do have dishes go more than 30.
Right.
But at the same time, you just find a balance. At the end of the month, at the end of the week, you look at the numbers, it's at 25. We're good.
Mm-hmm. And that's the bottom line. I mean, it's, you know, like in the barbecue world, crap, right now.
Yes.
Brisket doubled in price overnight. So it's, in the barbecue world, there's a lot of things that you just eat. I mean, beef ribs, for one. You know, you're never going to make the amount of money. You can't charge enough money. People won't pay for it if you charge what beef ribs really should cost. So
Right.
you know, and that's the whole idea, is trying to find different things to offset those higher food costs.
Exactly. I mean, hey, if you have a choice, I mean, no beef rib, no brisket, no beef. We sell turkey and sausage. Yeah, all day, every day. Yeah.
Hey, I was gonna say he's talking like a pitmaster right here. Like, you sure you want my brisket? You know, because the turkey's damn good today.
That pulled pork.
It's very moist. Actually, he has the best turkey I've ever tried. I actually, one time Jacqueline brought me some. I go like, even my chef go like, what is this? I said, turkey. Turkey is supposed to be dry and like chewy and everything. What the heck is this? So they didn't even touch the brisket. They just ate all the turkey before they even touched that. So a week later too, I mean, I text Jacqueline. I said, hey, give me more. Give me like 4 pounds, 5 pounds. Yeah, we love it. So next time we only eat turkey. I'm sure you want all the customer like me.
I would love for all of now.
I was gonna say HEB needs to pick up turkey from every barbecue joint, you know, around here to show some support, you know, for sure. So, okay, so point of sale system. You're still running the restaurant.
Yes.
You're sleeping what? As much as Brett is, you know, like holy
At
cow.
one time, if you're familiar with Chinatown, by Corporate and Bel Air, that cross street, I partner or I owned 6 businesses within half a mile.
Jeez.
In that cross street. That was not too long ago. Bar, karaoke,
Right.
3 restaurants,
So you just sleep
point
it
of sale company, the
Right.
computer point of sale company, all that at the same time.
And how old are you at this point? Because I hate to say it, I can't tell how old you are.
I'm 48.
You're 48.
I'm 48.
God, I'm in a world of trouble. So my wife is gonna be like, no, white people age like milk, okay? Like, Alex is here looking like a fine wine at 48. Damn, she's give it a few more years on this podcast and see if Connor's still married, because Cindy's not putting up with this guaylo no more, you know? Like,
Oh, that's good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so then, I mean, I pretty much at one time I just sold all of them.
Okay.
I just had my second child at the time. It's a little girl. She's like almost 3 now. So I took 1 year off, just like take a break and take care of the little girl. So during this, somehow we found this spot. We live in Sugarland. I didn't even live in Katy.
Right.
So there's a piece of land. I saw some pictures and stuff. I mean, somebody pitched it to me. I go like, Katy, okay, that's right, okay. But like I said, another interview before, I mean, this was one of the biggest, best decision of my life is come to Katy Asian Town.
Were there reservations though, in the fact that it's
Yes,
Katy,
sure.
Katy before this? I mean, going into any spot, absolutely. But I mean, and this isn't to dog Katy or anything like that. I've worked in the Katy area. I've lived in the Katy area. It is a crowd that, I mean, if you look on the highway, is used to chain restaurants, kind of a simple standard format of restaurants. And even before, you know, Brett, you know, kind of got in there, you know, kind of run-of-the-mill food. Not to be, I mean, there are obviously gems and pockets of some very interesting things, you know, and some places that have been here for a while. But to say, hey, we're going to build an Asian town center and throw in an H-Mart, to me, it seemed extremely ambitious. And when I was looking at it, I was like, I bet you I could throw a taco shop up in there and make a killing from all the, you know, dads or whatnot that aren't, you know, quite into this type of food, you know, or what have you, you know. When the opportunity arose, what were kind of your reservations or what were your thoughts, you know, initially? You know,
First of all, I had the restaurant on Mason Road, less than 4 blocks from Brett's right now.
Okay.
That was about 11 years ago. Where 99, both sides was still like the field. I mean, you see the biplane flying by to do a pesticide and things like that. Yeah, that was 11 years ago. Failed. Less than a year. Failed. completely failed.
Yeah.
So I mean,
only
sure,
makes you
sure, there was reservation, big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I had other restaurants before, and then some of them do very well. Sure, I mean, we have had our fail experience. We all do.
Right.
Not everybody, but I mean, at least me. I failed many times.
Most people that are in this business, if they're in a place where you are, there's been a couple failures along the way to.
You have to.
I mean, that's part of learning. I mean,
and numbers alone. I mean, what is it? 90% of restaurants fail or what have you. Like, this is a crazy industry to actually try and get into numbers-wise and percentage-wise. But it's not the end of the world. Like, even guys who have a 5-year tenure here in Houston, that's a pretty good run for a lot of restaurateurs. And if you've proven yourself, like, unfortunately, Bernie's Burger Bus shut down, but there's no way someone's not going to say this guy knows what he's doing. Like, everybody understands the circumstances, everybody understands the risks, that it's like, you will get another opportunity. You've proven you've taken it from food truck to X number of restaurants to X number of years.
And you've had longevity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Once you can, just that year mark is a big hurdle to pass. This guy's about to hit his 2-year mark.
2-year mark, yeah, that's right.
Next Friday, we'll hit our 2-year mark.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh. So initial development of this, saying, okay, we're going to do, Malaysian food here in, thank you so much, here in Katy. It's a new development. You were kind of one of the first true tenants here, correct? Third tenant, yeah.
Third that opened up.
Yeah, exactly.
Third that opened up. Yes, we got the poke place, and then it was the pho place. Mm-hmm. Then it was us.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, not only are you opening up a pretty interesting menu, you're opening it up almost where, I hate to say it, a lot of food writers aren't typically coming out to. And that was kind of the cool thing about Allison Cook kind of venturing outside the loop, Eric Sandler talking about your restaurant as well. To drive people out to Katy, I live on Barker Cypress and Clay, so I've got, maybe a 20-minute drive down 99, but to come outside the loop, for them to come out here, you're doing something special.
Yeah, they had to bring like oxygen tank, extra water. Yeah.
Well, like I like to say, if there's no traffic, it doesn't take much longer than 20 minutes to get to Katy.
That's true. No traffic.
People get that idea that it's a journey. You're going out of town to go to Katy sometimes.
Hey, it's a journey in town. As much as I love Burger Chan and Fijis, that drive is 35 minutes. I was so glad that they opened up so that we could actually eat in there. Because taking that burger home, you're kind of used to perfection. It's like barbecue. You're used to that perfect piece of brisket cooked perfectly, sliced right off of there.
Yeah, getting it right off the block is a lot better than having it wrapped up and taking it home.
Yeah.
It's still good, no matter what. But when you get it right off that block, it's.
So first, I know you're accustomed to operating restaurants and so forth at this point. This is a new area. This is a new development. This is a new clientele. What is your first, month looking like as soon as you get doors open, or even before you get the doors open?
It was, as I don't care. This is my number 9th restaurant, number 9th concept. That is food service related. It's still everything, still so new. Still nothing is going to go according to plan. Everything. Mm-hmm. We still have hiccups. Sure, for sure. But our favorite cook with Houston Food Finder, I was lucky I got introduction to her. They did like a pre-opening tasting event. So we had a room full of people that I don't know. They don't know me. They don't care who the heck I am. Served something called Malaysian food to them. Then they gave me a report card, what they think on each dish. What do they think? I think one of the most struggle that many restaurants will have is when you first open, do people like my food? Is that too salty? Is that not enough pepper? Is that too sweet? Or is it like, what do the customer think? So after that Houston Food Finder event, this was another like best thing happened to Phat. So I told the chef, I told myself, I told my team, that's it. We are not changing.
Good.
This is the way we're doing it. Okay. Luckily, we have never changed any recipe since day one. At least the one that we have had since day one. Most of the dishes, you mean the curry chicken, the beef rendang, Hainanese chicken, stuff like that. All the sauces for the stir-fry noodles and stuff, we did not change anything. I believe, like from my experience, you keep changing if one person tell you, oh, it's too sweet, it's too salty, and what if one person tell you it's too expensive? Are you gonna change everything? I cannot change like that every day. Yeah, so we just stick to our game plan and just keep executing it consistently. That's the most important part. That's what I learned in all these years. Consistency is number one.
Sure.
100%.
You can have not the best food in the world. Look at the fast food chain. I mean, they don't have the best food, but hey, you're damn sure that everywhere you go, you get the same food. Every time you come in the Phat, you're expecting the same food. At least 98%, okay? Okay, yeah. So that's very important. So we still had struggle at the beginning, like how to the operation, how to make it quick enough, and then how much we sell every day, things like that. Sure, I mean, I'm sure everybody had that same struggle at the beginning. Yeah,
Sure.
Growing pains.
So for both of y'all kind of introduced a pretty new level of cuisine. I assume that some of those people in that initial testing had no idea what Malaysian food was or what, it was supposed to, they saw curry and they were like, oh, it's Indian.
I had no idea what Malaysian food was. Until I came here for the
Thai
first
curry
time.
or whatever.
Right.
When Brett was here first time, he had no idea neither.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
It was one, I mean, there's been two experiences of my life where I have eaten food to the point that I went into coma, and this was one of them. The other time was eating at a holiday at one of my good friends' house, Boerne. They're from Serbia. They celebrate Slava. I got invited to this. It's 25 dishes, all different flavors. And I ate myself till I passed out. And I did the exact same thing when I came here. And I mean, it was just being someone who loves, trying different spices and getting creative with spices and stuff. When you come in and eat stuff that you've never tasted these flavors, it's just it's just it's crazy. I mean, your whole mind just blows up, and it's like, what can I do with these flavors?
But it is interesting because, I think people still struggle. You have the Food Network, you have everything on YouTube, you have everything that's going on Netflix, and people still aren't introduced to these types of cuisines, or they still don't understand it, and they may not even understand the price point. I know barbecue has gone through that, and especially barbecue and Katie. Again, not harping on Katie, it's just there's this new trend of restaurants, there's this new trend of dining that is kind of coming through. That is changing the game and so forth, Oh, sure, no worries.
Well, I mean,
sorry.
on the barbecue side, it's, back in the day, people weren't using the same types of meat as we're, some of the places are using now. I mean, when you go from a select or even like a lower grade choice to a prime, there's a significant price change in there. And, coming into Katie, I knew I was a little worried about, the prices, and we started and kind of fluctuated as we went. But, I think if you can prove to people that you've got a product that's worth paying for, people will pay for it.
Now, do you think, though, barbecue is like, okay, that's something I'm comfortable with? Someone who's coming in with a cuisine that people have no idea what it is, it's like, where's my... where's my dumplings, or something like that.
Or my General Chow chicken.
Exactly.
I think it's a lot different now than even maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
I feel like over the past 10 years, people in Katy have learned. They've adapted to a lot of new kinds of cuisine. I feel like just the culture of Katy has, gotten a little more diverse, and I feel like even with everybody, once they started, I mean, the Food Network channel, all these food deals are so popular now, so people have a better understanding of food, for the good and the bad. You know, it goes both ways. But I think it opens people up to wanting to experience new flavors and new things where, 10 years ago they probably wouldn't have.
Right. And if anybody who's not from the Houston area, because we do have some listeners even outside of the U.S., doesn't understand why we're talking about Katy so much, it's like Houston has its own pockets. Like you have, the Heights area, which kind of demands a certain type of thing. You have Sugarland, which is a completely different demographic. You have the Woodlands, which is completely different. Katy and Cinco Ranch are starting to become very different demographics than Fulshire, and so all of these little pockets, and Katy has grown so significantly, from what you were talking about, literally fields to this megaplex of so much. That's why I'm harping on the fact that this is in Katy, so much, so that just for some clarity for some of those listeners who may be like, what's the big deal? It's a Malaysian restaurant in a city, that's got this big population. It's like, no, wait a second. Let me explain to you a little bit about Katy. So that's awesome. So for listeners who may not be familiar with Malaysian food, can you kind of give us the rundown of what that means?
Malaysian food is like Chinese. Think it's like Chinese, Indian. They did British colonial days, and then you have Chinese, Indian, Portuguese colonial days. All that combined is a big melting pot.
Yeah.
Big melting pot flavor. It's not that spicy. Do not think it's that spicy. Most of our dishes, kids can eat it. Yes.
So what would you say would be the difference between like your curry versus like a traditional Indian curry?
Oh, it's big difference.
Right.
It's big difference. The spices we use are similar, but we just use it like in a very different way. We go shop in Indian supermarket all the time. Yeah, we use a lot of ingredients are the same, but we use it in a different way.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, it's like for me, it's not spicy, but there's so many bold flavors that all just come together in just harmony. It's good. The first time I ate here,
he was so happy. He was very happy.
Taking sake bombs.
Right. Well, awesome. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground for part one. We're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsor, Boerne brand hot sauce and 0 Point Organics, and we'll be right back with part two of the Cost of Goods Told podcast.
Can't wait.
Sounds good.
The Cost of Goods Told podcast is made possible by the following sponsors. Criswell Culinary aims to create a new standard of unique, affordable hot sauces that satisfies the more developed cravings of today. Boerne brand Texas-style hot sauce is a boldly layered sauce with density and personality to proudly represent Texas. Go to boernebrand.com to find a retailer near you. That's Boerne, Boerne, brand.com. 0 Point Organics grows and supplies microgreens for over 30 major restaurants in the Houston area. Consistently perfect quality in flavor and appearance, their microgreens will be the best you or your customers have ever had every single time. Go to zero-pointorganics.com. Welcome back to the Cost of Goods Told podcast. Alex, you are pounding us with beers right now, so I am double fisting for those who are watching the video version of this. Yeah, cheers, guys. Looks like four people are drinking, so... he either wants this podcast to go either really, really well or really, really poorly, Brett. So, because I know my brain starts to go in the opposite direction. Brett may be used to this type of fuel. So,
and every time I talk to Brett, there's always alcohol enough. I don't think I ever talked to Brett 100% sober.
I don't think
Did we?
so.
No, I don't think so.
It's always over some drinks.
That's how we met. We met at the bar.
Did you really?
Yeah, we got met at the Starbucks, which is both of our favorite bar, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that south on 99? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
That's where we met. Yeah. Me, him, and Jacqueline. That's how we met. Yeah.
That's too funny. Well, if you met Jacqueline, she probably met you before you met Jacqueline. So yeah,
You are right on that one. Yeah.
we love you, Jacqueline. we've covered a lot of ground in part one, Alex. We kind of led up to opening up and kind of those challenges of not necessarily opening up in Katy, but opening up anywhere. If you don't mind me asking, this is probably one of the first restaurants that I think I've seen you very present in, if that makes sense, and the
Exactly.
fact that.
Yes.
You have done a lot of different events. I have seen your face a lot more with this restaurant than any other establishment. Is there a reason for that?
First of all, this is like my golden child. I mean, I cannot speak for all the Asian, but I'm Asian. We never always look at price when we buy stuff. We always shop around.
Right.
I'm not saying we're cheap, but I would say I am cheap. But building Phat is the first time in my life that, other than the original quote from the contractor, I never look at the price. I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go plate every single piece of thing here. But when I want it done right. Because after all these years, I learned a thing or two that people can feel it. Like the brick wall you look at right now. I can do it with a PVC board that's 4 feet by 8 feet for like $50 to achieve the similar effect. And this is like $10 a square foot. So it's different. It's different. Like the light that you see in the back or right here, I mean, they're like imported from Poland. They're from the 70s. They are not a replica from China or anywhere, from India. They're actually from the 60s, from Poland, from Europe. Just import them in. It's different. It's different, and then that brings to why one day why I stick my face out so much. My general manager, Mr. Kevin Lee. He's doing his own business now, but he still come here all the time, in and out. He kept telling me, "Hey Alex, stick your head out, stick your head out, stick your head out." Then I said, "Why stick my head out? I usually hide behind the back. I mean, why I gotta stick my head out?" Then I realized that the more I talk to people, the more I understand what our guests like or like their suggestion and things like that. So I stick my head out a lot more. But this is a big thank you to Kevin. Without him, I mean, like forcing me to stick my head out, I mean, I might be still in the kitchen all day, every day.
Is that also due to, and this is not supposed to be a trigger question or anything controversial, but due to the demographic as well? Like, so when me and my in-laws, we go out to eat in Chinatown, there really isn't like a general manager kind of walking the floor, walking by saying like, how is everything? There's a very different level of service and so forth.
Correct. This is one thing, sorry.
No.
This is one thing that I want to distinguish ourselves to a typical Asian restaurant. The service is very important here. We strive every day, we train every day we're learning something new, how to do it better. Look at the water bottle that we have. Look at the coaster that we hold the water bottle with so it don't make a stain on a watermark on the table. Mm-hmm. Attention to detail is very important to us, and the service also. You see them little walkie-talkie. I mean, I was in Chinatown myself at all my restaurants before. All of them were in Chinatown except one, the Katy. Yeah, that's about it. Mm-hmm. Or my first one, 2 of them. I mean, you want something? Hey, table number 4. Yeah, so after a while, I mean, I go like, why we don't use a walkie-talkie correctly? I know nowadays, I mean, some of them use it, but we really like train all of our staff how to use it, when to use it, when not to use it. Mm-hmm. I mean, when someone is on the phone or talking to the customer, you look around. We are not a big restaurant. Mm-hmm. If you see someone is talking to the customers, don't talk anything unless you have an emergency.
And you were even smaller restaurant before.
Yes.
This edition.
Yes. So. We had 10.5 tables. Front of the house at one time we run like 9 people with 10.5 tables. 9 people. 2 busser, servers and hostess. Yeah, at one time we ran 90 people.
And it's not to say that in Chinatown that there aren't restaurants that do have good service. I'm trying to remember the name of the restaurant. It has I think it's off of Corporate. It has the red lit trees in front of it.
That is called East Wall.
East Wall.
East Wall.
That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
Phenomenal food, phenomenal service,
And phenomenal platings also.
yeah, exactly,
yes,
which is
yes.
really cool. And it
Yes.
was kind of like that golden gem that you found. Like it was like, wow, not only can I go here, but like my parents are kind of used to a level of service and they tip accordingly, you know. And so, you know, you take them there, and that was kind of their gateway restaurant to,
Yeah.
you know, Chinatown type of thing.
Yeah, East Wall is definitely one of them with good service for sure. Yes.
And then when we came here, we kind of had that same level of experience, which was really cool, because I think it was maybe a month or two that y'all were here that Cindy was like, yeah, we got to come. I literally have a picture of Cindy, myself, and then my little one at the time, you know, and we were just having an absolute blast because not only is the food incredible, but the service is incredible too.
We're trying to improve that every day. If you come back now, I'm sure it's even better.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is a tough thing to balance. I mean, you have to balance that too, even in the barbecue world, Brett, in that I think people expect barbecue at a certain price. People expect Asian food at a certain price. But then you're going to add that level of service on top of that, whether, you know, even in barbecue places like that are small like yours, Brett, people still want to see you, still want to try and interact with you.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a unique experience. It's still a level of service that is...
Oh, 100. I mean, that's why I get on the block every day. But, you know, so, you know, one of the things that really stuck out the first time I came here was, you know, you said it, detail. I mean, from the ambiance to the place, to the service, to the food, to what y'all serve, the different, like how y'all serve the rice in the little things. And, you know, y'all do the sizzling beef on little skillets, almost like fajitas. I mean, it's just every single thought that went into this place was thinking of every fine detail, and it's amazing. You've done an incredible job.
Thank you, thank you.
From the outside looking in, that I know that as a difficult decision, and the fact that it's like every little additional thing that you add onto it, being at where there's almost a cap on the price point that you can put on it,
Exactly, yeah.
is just shrinking that margin more and more. You know, like if beef goes up, obviously for barbecue restaurants, that margin shrinks. Like brisket is probably not the most profitable thing.
Not right now. It's getting better.
It's getting better, but it wasn't great before either.
No, it wasn't
you
great
know.
before,
And so battling not just perception, but battling, I guess, what would be competition costs and so forth, but being able to add all of those nuances is something very unique to Phat Eatery. It's something that I appreciate, but it's also something that I know is extremely difficult to do as well. And I hope customers are recognizing it.
So far, we have been like getting very good feedback. People do appreciate. People do notice that what we try to do, what we try to do every day, like an extra level of service that most of them don't expect in the Asian restaurant. Yeah.
I think it's also very cool that you said that you made these recipes and then you haven't changed them.
No.
There are other establishments in here in the Katy Asia Town that I think, not that they're bad or anything along those lines, but they have adapted, I guess, to the white people that come into their restaurant. And I have tasted a very difference because they are sometimes sister companies or parent company, you know, they're part of a parent company that has establishments in Chinatown, but they've had to adapt one reason or another. There's no wrong call. I'm not gonna fault someone for adapting their menu or adapting the flavor profile of something because the surrounding area or their customers have demanded that. But it's been really nice to find something that's true and authentic in a spot like this, you know. And that's not to shit on anybody in the center or anything along those lines.
I mean, you know, when you, especially if you're putting your heart and soul into something, once you start adapting and changing everything about your place, then it doesn't feel so much like your place, you know, and you lose that personal touch that you personally have with the place. And, you know, you find that all the time. I mean, you know, I know for me, I've had plenty of people telling me that I should do this and I should do that. And, you know, if you're looking for that, there's plenty of places for it.
Sure.
But if you're coming here, you know, you're going to get what you get.
Yeah. and that's a hard stance to take, you know.
But still, if 10 people tell me, hey, this is too salty, yeah, I might change it. But so that's why the food tasting event from Hills Food Finder that night was like so important for us. We got all this white people.
It's fine. You can say it.
White people, Asian people, we got all kind of people.
Right.
That said that they gave us a report card, enormous, no name, no nothing on it. So we read through every single one of them. And okay, that's it, done. But without that, I might be which way I should go. Yeah, and then especially when you first open, then you got too salty, 3, too salty. And then the other 5 people say, oh, it's very good. What are you going to do? So that's why that Hills Food Finder event was so important for us. So yeah, that's it, done.
Yeah.
No more change.
I recommend anybody opening up a restaurant before you open to have a group of people come in and eat your food and do it with an open mind and don't get upset because everybody's got different opinions.
Sure.
But it is good for you to get an outside opinion on your own food.
Yeah, I think some of the best advice that we've had on the podcast is you may have an idea of what your restaurant is going to be, you may have an idea of what your menu is going to be, but your customers are going to tell you very quickly. And a chef or an entrepreneur or a restaurateur almost needs to take that ego out of it to survive.
That's very tough for a lot of people.
Very tough, very tough. It was very tough for myself, you know, even with my food truck and things like that. Like we would literally do a wild mushroom risotto off of the food truck, and when people came back and were like, you undercooked the rice, I almost wanted to be like, motherfucker, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, it's supposed to be al dente. You've been served mush your whole life. I'm doing it right out of a damn food truck, you know? So like,
Eating the wrong rice.
yeah, I know. But you have to take a step back. You have to understand where people are coming from. You have to understand demographics and things like that, you know? I think it's really interesting too sometimes, like, you know, no matter what the restaurant is in Chinatown or Koreatown or whatnot, I usually tell my wife, I'm like, I'm not looking for the white boy experience, you know, like, you know, we'll go to the Korean barbecue thing, and it's like, if I go with, you know, a white friend, we may get like 6 or 7 sides or whatnot, but if I go with my sister-in-law who's Korean, it's like all of a sudden there's like all the, you know, awesome sides. I'm like, yo, I want this experience. How do I translate this to you, please? Because I don't, you know, and that not necessarily was like the disappointment in some of the things that are here in Katy Asia Town, but it was like, damn it, I wish we could stand our ground and people would say, hey, I'm open to that new experience. And that's a very difficult thing for all walks of life, whether it's Asian, white, black, you know, whatever have you. Opening yourself up to something that you're not comfortable with, that you're not familiar with, and especially for food, which is very important to a lot of people. I think it's just really cool that this can stand its ground and has been a pioneer in that side of it, as far as I'm concerned. That I've seen Phat Eatery as that, which has been really, really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
As you've opened, we've obviously faced a lot of different challenges. We faced a shutdown. We faced, you know, reopening. Now, who knows what's coming down the pipeline with everything that's kind of going on. What, if you don't mind talking about, what was the reaction to Katy Asia Town? Because I know Chinatown proper suffered drastically as it was called the Chinese virus. As this perception kind of happened, there was a lot of, you know, businesses that were suffering. Did Katy Asia Town feel the same pains?
I cannot say for the whole Katy Asian Town. I understand Chinatown got, I would say, hit like before Chinese New Year. That was the end of January. Yeah, for some people, if you don't remember. Then in February, I see a lot of business in KT Shintown got hit. I mean, the business got a lot slower. Maybe not as bad as Chinatown, but we were doing okay. We were lucky. We did not feel the real drop until the almost second week of March. But then the no more dining, shutdown thing happened. I guess it was, people think we're Asian town. It's a Chinese virus. Asian town. So we were okay. And I guess at that time, people were not that scared or aware about this virus at the time. I mean, at our Chinese New Year party, we did like 2 seatings per day, 2 days in a row, packed, everybody had fun. Yeah.
I didn't get to come to that one, but I think it was awesome.
It was fun. We got Lee Golden Dragon here, dancing, everything, like lions, like everything. It was fun. But at that time, Chinatown was not the same already. But we were still doing okay. But then during like into February, now Asian town starts slipping. Especially the restaurant that do more Asian business, like our neighbor, the Chongwang Barbecue, they slip a lot.
They have awesome duck and pork there.
They
man.
They do. So, so in March, I mean, then that's when we feel the effect big time. So on the March 3rd, the 3rd week of March and the last week of March, that's when the shutdown was. I mean, I was literally don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I mean, what I should do to go. I mean, we were doing like only this much business. I mean, how many people I should put in the kitchen? How many people I should put in front? What we should do? What we should do? So it took us like almost 2 weeks to sit down and figure out what to do. Yeah. So then turn to April. Okay, I start going better and better and better and better. We adapt, we change. We change every day. We learn and change every day. Curbside surveys, the banner outside, collaboration with next door, the barbecue. Then it started getting better and better. So actually April was not that bad of a month for us at all. We were one of the lucky ones.
Brett, did you see a similar timeline as far as kind of like how the business dipped?
It did. I mean, much like Alex, we've been very fortunate through this Hulk run. Not to say that the numbers are the exact same as they were, but we've been very lucky. And he said it best: is you've got to adapt to that which you can't change. And if you can't adapt to what you can't change, then you're gonna have a real tough problem. And we shut down for about 4 days. Well, I guess 1 whole week, just because we went from regular service to doing everything online, curbside, and I was like, we gotta figure this out before we launch it.
Right.
So we shut down for a week, got our stuff together, and it's worked out pretty dang good. Now when people can't come into a barbecue restaurant, it kind of kills the whole vibe of barbecue.
Sure.
But I'm just so fortunate and so thankful for all of our customers to keep supporting us, and it's keeping us rolling through hard times. So.
I think the hard thing too that we're facing now is, like you were talking about curbside or like online orders and things like that, is that as restaurants have to be as transparent as possible about a employee contracting the virus or testing positive for the virus, they have to almost shut down at that point. So it's almost like, okay, wait a second, we've got all these contact points that we have to worry about outside of the restaurant, let alone all of these customers coming into our restaurant. For both of y'all, I kind of pose this question: is how can you communicate this to customers in a positive light or in a way that is, hey, look, we have to take precautions ourselves to protect our employees, not just from natural situations, but also customer interaction. I will use Burger Chen as an example. Burger Chen is simply online orders only. They do not want to have someone come up and order online. I have seen customers have a negative reaction to that, but to me it's like that business is taking every effort possible to protect its business, to protect itself from having to shut down, to have to get all of its employees testing. There was a big post that I shared on Instagram that the guy was talking about the cost of getting all of his employees tested. You know, it's $3,000 to do something like that, you know? As y'all are moving forward through all of this, what are y'all doing to communicate to customers?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, for us, I mean, we were all online ordering and straight curbside for a while. Now we actually will take orders from cars, but still no one can come into the restaurant. You know, and we do that for the sole fact that I don't want to put my customers at risk, and I don't want to put anybody else at risk. And for the most part, I'd say 90% of the people are very okay with that, and there's a lot of people that are more than okay with that. You know, anybody taking food out or taking orders, they're always wearing a mask. You know, we take the right precautions, and this time you have to. And for those people who, you know, want to get angry because they can't walk in and order, go somewhere else. I mean, that's it. And I mean, you know, I've got a very small shop, so what's the point? And this is the way I look at it.
They just want to come see you.
I can be open for 50%, and I can have 4 people inside the restaurant 6 feet away,
just like
and everybody else is standing in the blistering heat. Or you can just sit in your air conditioning car, and I can bring food out to you. So, you know, I feel like, especially when it's explained in that sense, people are like, okay, I get it. And, you know, even, you know, until things are really fully open, it just doesn't, like for our place, it doesn't make sense to even have people come in, because it's a risk that doesn't need to be taken. And everybody's adapted for the most part to the online ordering, and especially now that we come out with iPads and take your orders, that's kind of opened it up a little better. So.
I think customers just, you know, from my soapbox having this podcast, I'm just trying to tell customers that even a 10% loss, or, you know, you said 90% of the people, even that 10%, because the pie is significantly smaller, I'm just asking for them to understand and for them to realize this is an ever-evolving type of thing. This is a thing that no one has a playbook to go by. There is no COVID-19 for restaurants for dummies, you know, book.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah,
it's
you know.
Surely not. But there's people. I've had a couple of people that, you know, they're angry, and I'm like, ma'am or sir, what are you angry about? Like, we're doing the best we can with what we got. Like, and so is everybody else. So just, you know, let it be.
Now, with the size of your dining room and everything, you were kind of set, Brett, as, you know, take it and go. Alex, you're used to full service. You're also used to a bar program. You're also used to beverage sales and things like that. Maybe the food isn't designed to travel, you know, that, you know, or be to go. Did you have to make adaptations to the menu, or how you were you were doing things?
Big time. There are some dishes that do not travel very well. We just took it off the menu. And we shrink the menu quite a bit after when the no more dine-in. We shrink the menu quite a bit just to make sure that we can turn the ingredients fast enough, keep them fresh and everything, instead of like, our menu was pretty small already. We shrink it even more. Yeah. On an Asian restaurant standard, our menu is very small. Okay, I'm not like In-N-Out Burger, that's small, but but we're on the Asian restaurant.
But you're not Tan big, you know, so, you know, which I love Tan, so I will say that
I did the POS system before too.
Oh, okay.
There was over 400 items, and then all of them are available, large and small. They're not on the menu, but it's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know the inside scoop now. Do they do the same thing? Because is Jai Kitchen a sister company of theirs?
They are opening a something called 1010 Walk.
Okay.
Yeah, and the GI Kitchen is from the 1010 family.
Okay.
But then next door, they are opening up something called a 1010 Walk, which is like directly related to
Very
1010.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1010 has a very special spot because we went to a Rockets game with my now brother-in-law, but I was just dating my wife at the time, and then her brother got us tickets to a Rockets game. And then we went to 1010, and I brought out the chopsticks, and he's like, yo, even we don't use chopsticks, man. Like, yo, white boy, put those away. Don't try and impress us.
You know?
Yeah. So, sorry to go on such a weird tangent on 1010, but it's just, it's a fun story to share. So, so you shrink the menu.
We shrink the menu and then take away something that is like do not travel very well. And then we, at that time, be honest, for the first year and a half or so, I was pretty comfortable with my menu. Other than one or two special items like fish that is seasonal, things like that, I did not really change the menu. I feel I was too comfortable. There could be like customer out the door. I mean, line crazy, everything. I don't really have to work. I mean, I just chill and then like make sure everything okay, talk to customers, stuff like that. I really don't have to like work. But during the when the COVID-19 started, I mean, there was no more dining. I had to like give myself a chance to do something that I never done before, like crawfish. I always love cooking crawfish. And so we brought out crawfish, something new. Okay, ice cream that we never done. Ice cream, things like that. We do something new that we know it travels well and something different. Then we have the collab with the dumpling house in downtown. And next door, we put the menu into our online menu system so people can order one spot for two restaurants, get delivered or pick up at the same time. So we have to be creative to change, adapt everything. People ask, why it's not even busy? Why you're at the restaurant all the time? I mean, it's not even busy. When I don't even know what to do the next hour, how to expect my guys know what to do? I don't even know. And then suddenly the governor said that, okay, oh, that's what's next. Oh crap, okay, what am I gonna do? Okay, so I have to be here the whole time. I pretty much didn't have a day off this since COVID-19, but it's all good. The feedback, I mean, what we did, I think our loyal customer love it a lot. So we've been doing well.
Well, I think, this is not to take away from anybody who also was part of it, but I mean, the Houston Shift Meal, the collaborations with the different restaurants, whether it's the barbecue shop right next door, or the dumpling place,
and then the eyebrow and hot sauce, things like that,
all of that was, admirable, but also I assume a headache. I mean, you got to call it what it is, no matter what you do, whether it's a charity event, whether it's a donation, whether it's a barbecue festival, whether it's, this Katie Sip or the Sip and Stroll. Those things are taking away from time and energy dedicated to your business. And at COVID-19, it literally demanded 24/7 of you. So to add on to that, how are you, bringing those people on board? How are you communicating that to customers?
We just think I just don't think when I see something that that might help someone, I don't even look. I don't even think. Let's do it. How much time I'm gonna spend? I mean, how much less sleep I'm gonna get? I really don't give a crap.
If you're in this world, sleep doesn't matter that much. You can't let it hold you down.
If I can help, I mean, I just do it. I don't even ask for. I just think that when you help someone, I mean, you don't ask for anything. It'll just come back in a much bigger way. Yeah.
Now, at the same time, all of this is going on. I know you said your wife has kind of the 9 to 5 or whatnot. But there is a demand on restaurant, barbecue especially, as well, chefs as, where, hey, we've got to shift our focus and so forth. What is your wife thinking at this time? Like, did y'all have any hard conversations? Did you have? No? Good.
No, we do not talk about business.
Okay.
Not at all.
You keep it
very
church
separate.
And state, yeah.
Very, very separate, yeah. Very separate.
That's
Unless it's something very, very big.
And COVID-19 wasn't that, No.
She just asked, are you going to open? Yeah, what are you going to do? Then she looked at the book. She's a CPA, so look at the book. You okay? Okay, yeah. No worry. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
So even through this process, are there things, I know that we're at 75% occupancy, I guess, currently. Who knows what it's going to be tomorrow. 4 feet, distancing, things along those lines. It's an ever-evolving, ever-changing type of thing. Are there things that you have done during all of this that you feel like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to carry this forward, even if we go to a full normal?
The online ordering, curbside pickup, orders are here to stay.
Okay.
Delivery, things like that are here to stay. We hire our own driver. I don't know if you have heard about on the media or not before. We refuse to pay all this big corporation like this Uber, or DoorDash, all this crap.
Grubhub,
No, we don't pay them.
30%,
Yeah.
33%, whatever they want to charge.
Yeah, we refuse doing that. So we just hire our own in-house driver, keep 2 more people employed, 2 less people claim unemployment. I mean, I just think it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think the numbers work for the restaurants with these third-party delivery systems,
It does not.
They do for, some restaurants. It's not good for anybody, but for some restaurants that have lower food costs, they can still make $1. But I mean, for something that's a little more, barbecue, for instance, it's a very high food cost, and if you're giving away 30%, you're not making anything, and
Right.
it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, brisket, ribs, minus 30%.
Yay!
What do you see for the future for yourself, Alex, or for Phat Eatery? I know things are obviously ever changing, like we've stated before. But do you see future expansion? Do you see something new? Possibly a chance. Even during these types of times, there are opportunities that do arise.
Exactly. This is what I've been talking and looking to my mentor, my real estate broker, and see what opportunities are opening up. And as a matter of fact, we are doing a banh mi, which is a Vietnamese sandwich shop next door. The permit just came out yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, so technically we can start construction anytime. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what a banh mi is, do you mind explaining
It's
what a
a
banh mi is?
Vietnamese sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, with grilled pork with different ingredients in it, and I very lucky to have cooked lamb, which is a very well-known chef in town, Vietnamese chef, to be our executive chef on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love reading that if she wouldn't come on, you weren't going to do it.
No, if cooked lamb is not doing, I'm not doing it.
That was awesome.
Yeah. She's my first and only choice. Yeah.
We did a banh mi competition when I was a food truck, and we did a Jack Daniel's chicken liver pate. So I'm telling you, man, do it as a special, just at least once for me, please. A Jack Daniel's chicken liver pate. People lost their damn minds for that, So it actually got us in contact with Lily Jang when she was doing TV at the time. Now she's doing awesome real estate stuff. So, but it was really kind of funny that a banh mi sandwich not only from eating at Don's Cafe and so forth, but had this kind of culinary connection that
Wow.
Lily Jang said, "Hey, come on our come on, I want to have you on the TV," and literally blew us up. So it's
That's
really
awesome.
cool. So yeah, I can't wait to try y'all's. So
Sure. Yeah.
Alex, for people who want to kind of follow everything that's going on, you mind sharing website, social media, things along those lines?
Yeah. Handles is Phat Eatery. Just Phat Eatery. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just Phat Eatery. Yeah.
Don't look it up on the yellow pages. Google
No,
it.
look at
you know?
Yellow pages. Yeah. Yeah. Phat Eatery and phateatery.com. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Brett, thank you so much for being on this podcast, man.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure.
For those who want to follow your journey and everything, can you give us your handles?
Brett's Barbecue Shop.
There you go.
Sweet and simple.
Sweet and simple. Sweet and simple. Guys, I really appreciate you both taking time to come here and talk. This has been an awesome podcast. Darren, I do miss you, but this was pretty damn good.
Miss you too, Darren. Had fun though.
Yeah, this is great. So for all the listeners, like and subscribe. 5 stars, 5 stars. We're out.